Hey, Zach Crawford here, and in this video we're going to talk about how to build an online business when you have a full-time job. Now, this is something that I relate to. It was a struggle for me. It's a struggle for a lot of my clients that I've worked with over the years, over the last 6 years. And I can tell you that I've dealt with everybody from, people that are struggling, like they barely have any money after the paycheck, so therefore they want to create a better life. I've dealt with people that, literally have really good incomes. I'm talking six-figure incomes, and, they want to replace that. Like they hate their job so much, they would rather go online and sacrifice that income in order to get out of it. I've literally dealt with people that are lawyers, doctors, accountants, people that are pretty well off, right? And they desire more so to quit that job and have freedom to make passive income. So this video is for two types of people. One, you're not really getting by, so to speak. You're barely just being able to have enough money to pay the bills, and you want a better life. And then two, for people that already, as I said, they have a pretty good income, but they want to replace that income and get out of the job. And I guess really it could be even for a third person if honestly they're just looking to make some side income to supplement the bills. But most of the stuff I'm going to talk about is about quitting your job, so don't get too butthurt on that one if you don't like that. With that being said, I want to talk about the 9 best tips of things that I had to learn over the years. When I first started, I had no desire to create a 7-figure business like I have today. I really just wanted to make enough income to quit my job. I was working as a post office contractor, working 80 hours a week. I pretty much had no life. And what's funny is what I thought back then, what a business would be like, is completely opposite. Like I didn't understand how to think like an entrepreneur. I didn't understand how to use my money wisely. I didn't understand that time is more valuable than money. I didn't understand you should be investing your money. I didn't understand any of that stuff. I just wanted to get rich on the interwebs and quit my job. In fact, really my initial goal was basically to make $3,000 a month so I could quit that job and focus on, literally just having a better life. I figured if I could quit my job, that would give me more time to invest into the business. And then at that point, I could somehow figure out how to make it a pretty good income. So before I jump in with my tips, the first thing I want to say is if you're new to the channel, go below, hit the subscribe button, smash that notification bell so that way you get notified when I drop new videos. And then, of course, comment below, let me know you subscribed, and I'll welcome you to the channel. Now, what I want to do before I jump into the first tip is I want to point out something that I don't think a lot of people realize. And maybe you're not like this. Maybe you actually love your job and you're really appreciative of it. But I can tell you when I was first starting, right, I hated my job. I was always bitching about it. Honestly, I was the most negative person I know. Now everybody talks about I'm the most positive person they know. But back then, I literally complained about everything, right? I hated my boss. I hated the job. Now, with that being said, I worked my ass off, right? But I just hated going into the job, and I didn't really appreciate what I had. And a lot of people want out of their job so much, they don't realize how much of a valuable asset that job actually is. I don't even care if right now you can barely pay the bills, right? When you have a job, you at least can pay the bills. Now, what I did is because of the fact that I was $50,000 in debt and they were about to garnish my income. If you don't know, I got in a bad motorcycle accident where a drunk driver hit me. So I was kind of forced out of my job anyways. It was a gift and honestly a curse all at the same time. And so when I quit my job, I went over to the Philippines and I basically bootstrapped it doing like freelance work. But what was crazy is the first couple months were really scary, really scary. I mean, I tapped into all the money I saved up. I had I think $12,000 to my name after selling a car, all this stuff. So those early days of entrepreneurship was filled with lots of crying into my pillow, stressed out about what I was going to do when I lost all my money. And when you have a job, everything is covered, right? You at least have a roof over your head. Everything is golden. And you at least start with a good staple to build your business. You're not stressed out every day how I'm going to pay the bills. So if you have a good job, if you're one of these people that have a good job, my suggestion is I'm going to talk about later about investing your money. You want to use that extra money you have and pump it into the business faster than you can. So that way you can get out of that job quicker. At the end of the day, a lot of people will teach you can make money for free. And you can, but it's going to be a long and painful process. The more money you have to invest, the faster it's going to go. It's just how it is. If you have no money, you're going to have to bootstrap the hell out of it. But I wanted to cover that before I go into the tips because a lot of people just don't appreciate what they have. And what I can tell you is if you're not appreciating the fact that you have a job, if you're not putting your best effort into your job, even though you hate it, if you're one of the people just go in, you're kind of looking at the clock man, when can I go home? You're going to carry that same lazy attitude over to your business. And I know because I did that. In the early stages, until somebody pointed this out to me that, Zach, you have a really shitty attitude. You have an awesome job. You're making really great money. I didn't have a college education. I had to drop out of school because of the motorcycle accident. And I was making $60,000 a year. And one of my friends basically said, you have a better job than most college graduates and you're bitching. And I was like, damn, he's right. So I changed my attitude and started outworking everybody because I knew that if I didn't learn to appreciate that job, I was going to carry that same lazy attitude over into when I actually owned a business. All right, so tip number one is the myth of balance. And what I mean by this, everybody has this desire to have balance in their life, right? Spiritually, relationship-wise, financially, they want balance across the board. And what I can tell you is I think balance is really kind of a myth. Now, what I'm going to say here is like at a certain point, once you get to a certain level in business, you can create like balance. So there's time for family, there's time for friends, there's time for, spirituality, going to church, whatever that you believe in, balance for your health and fitness if you're into that. But in the early stages, you got to realize you got to make a lot of sacrifices and give things up. And, this is going to be hard for a lot of people, especially if you're younger. Like I get a lot of people that are younger that are like 18, 19, 20, 21. And they're like, Zach, I want to go hang out with my friends. I want to go to the bar. I want to go to parties. And the sad reality is you're going to have to give a lot of that up. That was a hard thing for me to learn is that, and I was a partier, right? I went out and drank all the time. I was hanging out with all my friends. And eventually I had to realize like, these people that I'm hanging out with aren't really going to be going anywhere in life because they don't have any ambitions. They don't have any goals. Their goals are for the weekend to have fun. And what you're going to see is most successful entrepreneurs, their focus is on creating their life that they can see 2-3 years from now. And they have to make sacrifices. So that means, giving up, going and having fun every weekend with the friends, giving up maybe watching endless amounts of TV every single night, giving up sometimes even family time, right? It may mean you have to, if you're married, you may have to say, hey, look, I'm doing this thing for us. I'm building this for us. And, I've had a client before that had to sit his wife down and tell her this, like, look, I want out of this job. I want us to have a better life. And so you got to give me a couple hours every single night to work on this because, sitting around watching TV just to de-stress after work is not getting us anywhere. And so one of the things you have to realize is sacrifices are absolutely necessary. I don't care what, slimy tactic somebody tells you on YouTube that you can go and you can just work 2 hours a day and get super rich and still have all the fun. That's true once you get successful, once you've already done all the stuff. In the early stages, you have to make sacrifices in order to get to where you want to go. You're not going to have that dream life where you can travel where you want to go, drive the cars you wanted to drive, live in the house you want to live, have the true time and financial freedom without making sacrifices up front. And what most people want is they want something for nothing. And that was a very hard lesson I had to learn myself because I was that person. I wanted to get rich without doing the work. It sounded sexy. And all the things I bought were telling me I could do so, but I can tell you it's a very hard lesson you have to learn if you're one of those people that was like me, that you have to give up quite a bit of things in the beginning, and you're not really going to have very much balance in the early stages of entrepreneurship. Your life is going to be unbalanced, and you have to be okay with that. All right, so tip number 2 is using your time wisely. And this is something that most people just don't do. Like when I look at 99% of people, they waste so much fucking time. Like they don't value time. What they do is they literally like watch endless amounts of TV. They're constantly focused on having fun all the time. And if you want to make a lot of money online and you're serious about getting out of your job, like you really want to take entrepreneurship seriously, you got to use your time more wisely. So here's the thing. If you're in a full-time job, which obviously you probably are if you're watching this video, you got to use and take your time like so seriously. You got to treat it like it's a newborn child, like you baby your time. Like money is not worth more than your time. Your time is worth more than money. And if you're in a job, it's kind of hard to understand that because you value money, right? You want more money to have a better life. But as you start making money, you realize that like your time is your most valuable asset. And if you want to make more money, you need more time, right? So for me, I'm constantly focused on getting more of my time back by hiring employees and stuff. We'll talk about that later. So that way I have more time to think about how to grow to the next level. So you want to practice this in the early stages when you're starting out of using your time wisely. An example of this would be, when you get off work, a lot of times you're going to be very drained mentally, right? And this is something that was, what I'm about to give you the advice here is probably going to be painful for you if you're not a morning person. But I kept hearing all these successful people talk about how they wake up earlier. And so it took me a long time to get to that point to do that because I was the kind of person that liked to sleep in till like 9 in the morning, because for me, my job didn't start till 11 a.m. And so I like to sleep in, and then that gave me enough time just to go to the gym before I went to work. And then I'd go to work and work half the day. When I got into entrepreneurship, I wanted to carry that same attitude over, and it didn't work very well. So here's the thing. When you come home from work, you spend 9 to 5, 8 to 4, whatever your schedule is. and you're working like 8 hours a day, not to mention you probably have at least a half an hour commute there and back, so there's another hour. Some people have an hour commute each way. Most of your day is sucked up. By the time you get home, you're tired, you're lethargic, you don't feel good. A lot of times you just want to sit down on Netflix, and so one of the things that you can do is learn to balance your time better by waking up a couple hours earlier. I know, God forbid, this is painful, but when you wake up early in the morning, you have quiet space. You don't have people pulling at your time. You don't have all these social media updates that you can check on your phone. And so therefore you have time that you can focus on your business before you go into your job. And when you go to your job, you have a bad day, you bring that home. The last thing you feel like doing is working on your business. So one of the things I would suggest is to work on your business before you go into your job. So make your business your priority and your job is just paying the bills. Now, with that being said, you can also do it at night, but I'm telling you, like from a perspective of when I did it, a lot of times when I come home, even though I would fall asleep at my computer every night and work on the evenings, a lot of times like I wasn't getting much done because I was like wasting my time. I was getting on forums and blogs and reading people's content and social media posts. And a lot of times, like by the time I got done to working, I maybe got like a half an hour worth of work. We're going to talk about income producing activities here pretty soon. But if I could go back and give myself one piece of advice, it would have been to wake up earlier before I went into work on my business first, then go into work. So that way when the work drained my energy, I don't care because I got my best work done early in the morning. And I can tell you from perspective, me personally, like I get way better work done early in the morning because I have focus. As the day goes on, I start getting lethargic. As I start eating, I start feeling sluggish. And then the day just kind of descends down. This is why I think getting the best work that you can get done early in the morning is absolutely crucial. All right, so tip number 3 is income producing activities and scheduling your time. So this is something that a lot of people really make the mistake of doing when they actually start trying to build a business. And they convince themselves they're doing things like they're cleaning up their desk and they're moving things around and making it neat and they're decorating their office. Like I can't really I decorate my office. But what I'm saying is a lot of times people waste their time on silly stuff, making their blog fancy, getting some graphics done, making a couple social media posts. And obviously depending on what business you're building, it's going to be different. But a lot of times people spend about 99% of their time studying and like 1%, if that, actually doing things. And so what you got to do is you got to define what's income producing activities in your business. For me, that's things like generating email leads. That's making offers, for things to buy. That's creating content. Now, I want you to realize that there's a couple different ways that you look at income producing activities. There's indirect income producing activities, and that basically means something you're doing today that's going to lead to a sell in the future. Income producing activities are things that you can do today. So an example for me, an income producing activity today would be I could run a webinar and make an offer for a product, so I could make a sell, or I could get on the phone and sell something. An example of indirect income producing activity would be like I could create a piece of content like this video where people can find it today, they can find it a week from now, a year from now, and it builds my audience much, much bigger. Most of my income over the last couple of years has been by publishing content on different platforms, bringing them into my email list, and that's where I actually sell things. You got to define what's your income producing activities. For you, it may mean cold calls. So like for instance, if you were doing offline marketing, right? Maybe it's trying to get new clients. It could be, for instance, running a Facebook ad to get a new client. Whatever it be, you got to figure out what's the highest leverage activity that you can get paid today or very, very soon. Like at the end of the day, when you have a job, your time is so valuable. If you only have 2 hours to work on your business at the end of the night, you need to make sure those 2 hours are focused on income producing activities. Get off the forums, stop reading blogs, stop trying to digest every piece of content that comes in front of you. Get off social media and focus on the things that are going to make you money. This is where most people never make money online, is because of the fact in their online business, all they're focused on is consuming everybody else's content instead of creating their own or creating their own business, right? You got to focus on making money yourself and not watching what everybody else is doing. Like income producing activities are absolutely crucial. And I can tell you for me, I never made money until I focused on my own stuff. I focused on my own lane. I focused on doing things that were going to bring money into my business, getting new clients and making new offers. Until I did that, it was really just a fantasy where I sat around and watched everybody else make a ton of money online. All right, so tip number 4 is really your health and your energy, and this is going to be absolutely key if you want to be a successful entrepreneur, in my opinion. Now, a lot of people are like, "Oh, screw this, Zach, I'm not working out." And I can tell you, I've always been into working out throughout the years, but it's kind of funny. When I went over to the Philippines, I become really, really fat. Actually, I'll throw up on the screen right now actual image to show you how fat I got. I call that Zach Fat .0, and I got insanely big. Like right now, I'm probably about 160-ish. At that point, I was somewhere around 220 to 240 pounds. I just ballooned up. And when I was over there, all I was doing is working, but I was consuming nothing but like McDonald's, fast food, and a lot of greasy foods and things that were not healthy. And I had no sense of control. Like I ate everything in mind. I drank lots of soda. And what happened was it really affected my productivity, my energy levels. Honestly, I felt like shit mentally. I felt horrible about myself. My self-esteem went down. And I can tell you, when you do all this, your confidence in business is going to go way down. Like you can probably tell right now, I'm a very confident person. I was not that confident person then. I felt like crap. Like even if I try to fake it till you make it, I knew how I felt inside. I felt horrible. And so if right now you're overweight, I'm not trying to put you down. What I'm saying is you want to start thinking about eating healthier, eating less pre-processed food, start eating, more greens, more protein like chicken and steak, ideally just get moving, do some kind of fitness. It could be something as simple as a walk in the morning. If you are really ambitious, go to the gym. Like, honestly, for me, if I don't go to the gym, I feel sluggish. If I eat like crap, I eat a bunch of donuts and horrible food outside, it affects my performance in business. So one of the things that you got to really learn, and we're going to talk about discipline, but is discipline in your health, because it's going to give you the energy to work, the longer hours, like once you quit and become a full-time entrepreneur. When you quit your job, you're going to want to take that same amount of time that you had in the job and apply it to your business. You don't want to just be like, oh, I'm living the laptop lifestyle now and working 2 hours a day, because your business is going to tank. Now, I'm not saying that you can't work 2 hours a day, but you got to work for that. That's not something that's just handed over to you. A lot of people will bullshit you and tell you that like, oh yeah, you can just work 2 hours a day and make millions of dollars. But the people like myself and other people that make millions of dollars, we don't work 2 hours a day. Like that's just a pipe dream people are selling you. Now, you can get it down to where you work a reasonable amount of time, but you're going to need to get employees. We're going to talk about that later. And at the end of the day, your health is everything. Like, what good is making millions of dollars online or making a 6-figure income or whatever it be if honestly you feel like crap every day, you look in the mirror, you feel horrible, you have no energy, you're lethargic, you're constantly falling asleep and taking naps on the couch? Like, your health is everything. It's not just a fact for business, but I mean, it does make a big difference. Like, I wasn't able to wake up early in the morning until I got my health in order, because honestly, I was tired all the time. I was sluggish and I felt like crap. Once I started getting my health in line, it's kind of funny how it went together, but my income started rising too. So one of my biggest suggestions is to get your health in order, because it's going to change everything. It's going to change everything completely. All right, so tip number 5 is focus on passive income streams. And this is something that, most of the stuff I teach on this channel is about building passive income, but there's different types of passive income. There's like the type that you set up and you just completely just make money pretty much consistently. Like example would be like real estate. You have real estate, you rent it out, and it brings in money pretty much without doing anything. Then there's other passive income streams where you actually have to do a little bit of work to maintain them. And so for me, in my business, I sell digital products. Some of those are reoccurring products. Like I promote it once and it just keeps making money. That's more like really easy passive income. The other type of passive income is, example, like you could sell a product. Let's just say it's $97, right? It's just a one-time fee. But you can turn it into passive income by creating what's called a sales funnel. I talk about that on the channel, so we're not going to go deep in that. But basically, it's the process that like walks people through to sell them. So instead of me having to sit here every day and tell you like, hey, you got to buy this, you got to buy that, I can create a sales funnel that I do the work once, and then I say create a video like this right here or a blog post, and it consistently sends me traffic into that sales funnel, and every single day I'm clipping the ticket and getting sales. So what you want to do if you want to get real freedom is focus on passive income in the early stages. Promote a product that's reoccurring. You promote it once and people keep paying month after month. I love software. This is going to get you out of that job way quicker when you can create a $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. I don't know, for some of you, it may even be like $8,000 a month to replace your income at your job. Once you have passive income coming in every month, it kills your stress levels. Like if you're constantly focused on getting like a new client, for example, or selling a one-time product and you're manually doing it, you're going to be stressed out every single month when you're trying to like sell the products to make sure you can make the bills meet. When you have passive income coming in every month of say like $5,000, $10,000 a month, Like, you don't stress out. You wake up every morning knowing your bills are paid, your expenses are paid, you have money left over, and now everything you do, you can actually really focus on building a business you love, compared to what I see a lot of people doing. They're focused on just selling things, and they never really build a real asset. So they're constantly stressed out about how to get the next sell. They're constantly chasing new opportunities instead of focusing on something they really care about and building a long-term business. But when you have passive income, it gives you freedom, real freedom, that you don't stress out every single morning when you wake up. All right, so tip number 6 is discipline and finding an accountability partner. So one of the things that has helped me over the years is I actually have a business partner, Crawford, which is my father. So he's always been my accountability partner, right? He's helped me be disciplined. And what I talked about income producing activities earlier, right? And scheduling your work. Like if you come home every night and you're focusing on 2 hours a day, every single night when you get home, and you have those income producing activities, it's good. It's going to help you get, to where you want to go. If you want to speed up the process, find an accountability partner, somebody that can hold you accountable to yourself. That's probably the hardest thing. Like as an employee, you don't really know how to manage yourself. Like you just show up, you punch a clock, and I'm not trying to say that you're lazy, right? But I can tell you myself, I did a lot of, like, as I said, I kind of just did what I had to do to get paid for a long time. And then eventually I was like, all right, I got to work harder because I got to transfer this over if I'm going to run a business. When you're a business owner, you are the boss. You are the person doing the work. You're the person that has to show up and make things happen. You're the person that has to become the rainmaker. So if you're lazy and you just go watch Netflix, or you're tired one day and don't feel like doing the work, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, you're going to watch your income just dip. And so one of the things that's been crucial to myself is accountability partners. And because of the fact that when I first started out, I had my dad, he was always on my ass, always saying, hey, why did you not do this? And what happens is, in the beginning, you feel like shit, right? You didn't do the work. You didn't you messed around. You went and watched a movie, whatever it be. And having somebody you have to hold yourself accountable to every week and say, well, I didn't do that because of this. It really changes everything, because every week you feel bad about it when you don't do something, and it makes you push every week to get to the point where you're just a producer every single time, constantly doing it. Now, I've even made this one step bigger. Even now, one of my old coaching clients, who's another 7-figure earner, right? Every 2 weeks we meet up and when we share our goals and we say, hey, what are you doing? What'd you work on? What'd you get done? So not only do I have the accountability partner with my father, but I also have one of my friends now, who we hold each other accountable to make sure we're pushing on our goals, to make sure we're going to the next level. Now, at the same time, we use it as a mastermind session to share ideas, but the biggest thing is to hold ourselves accountable, because as an entrepreneur, right, if you don't have other people, other friends that are in the business, other people trying to achieve goals like you, it's really easy just to get lazy, because you're like, man, nobody understands me. My family doesn't get it. All my old friends don't get it. So what I'm trying to tell you is find somebody that's trying to do something similar to you. Like, we literally have online communities now. Hell, I have a Facebook group. You literally can go in the description and basically ask somebody like, hey, I'm looking for an accountability partner. Does anybody want to meet up, once a week on Skype or every 2 weeks on Skype, where we can share ideas and we can hold each other accountable and push each other to get to the next level? If not, find somebody in a forum, find somebody in a Facebook group, or somebody that's online. I mean, literally, it's so easy to find people online these days that's going to help push you, that's going to hold each other accountable. When you have an accountability partner and you're pushing each other, you're going to grow, and you're going to grow together. And I'm telling you, having friends, having people that are in the business that understand your weirdness of wanting to work at home and do your own thing is going to be absolutely crucial. If you just have normal friends and you're like sharing, with your friends, your goals and whatnot, they're going to be like, oh, Zach, just take a break. Let's go to the movies. Let's go out to the bar. Let's go do this thing. I'm telling you, if you want to be a successful entrepreneur, you got to surround yourself with like-minded people that understand you and have the same types of goals and ambitions that they want to grow, and you up-level each other. All right, tip number 7 is to love your business, love your work. And what I mean by this, most people look at entrepreneurship as like this thing I got to do, this chore, this job. Like, they look at their business as just like their job. And I don't know about you, but I hated my job. Like, my job was the last thing I wanted to do in the freaking world. Like, I hated it. I was passionate about being passionate about hating my job. So when I went into entrepreneurship, I kind of carried this same attitude over. Like, I was always thinking about, when am I going to make money? When am I going to be able to have a nice house, have a nice car, do all this stuff I'm watching everybody else do? Man, this stuff's so hard. I don't want to do this. And because I carried that attitude into it, like, everything I did, I looked at it as a chore. Every new skill I had to learn, I'm like, damn, I got to sit and study this tutorial on how to use this new software. man, I got to learn to do email marketing. I got to learn to do Facebook ad. Every single thing, I just had this really piss poor attitude. And in the early days, like this really made things hard. Now I love my business so much. It's like a hobby. Like honestly, I work on my business pretty much 7 days a week. I know that's not sexy to most people, right? But it's not really a business to me. This is what I love to do. I love to get better. I love to study new training, new courses. I love to, learn from new people that have a skill that I want to learn that I can apply to my business. I love to constantly create and build new things. The faster you learn to love your business and love the process, the faster you're going to make money. If you constantly view it as like, oh man, I got to do this video today, or I got to create this sales page, or I got to, set up this ad. Like if you carry that attitude around, it's going to be so long before you make money because you have the wrong attitude. You're not excited, you're not passionate, you're not excited about your future or where you're going. Enthusiasm and energy are like one of the key components to getting what you want. And if you're not even excited, if you don't have a big belief system that what you're building is going to work, you're never going to get there. So really what we're talking about is belief, right? When you love what you're doing, you believe that it's going to be possible for you to get the result. You're going to apply 10 times more energy, 10 times more effort into what you're doing, which is going to get you there 10 times faster. So learn to love the process, because that was something that I really punished myself and caused myself success because I constantly had a really shitty attitude about my business. All right, so tip number 8 is giving more than you get. So one of the things I see a lot of unsuccessful people do when they go into business is they have the attitude of, what can you give me? When in reality, you should be holding your hand out and asking, how can I help you? This is one of the hardest lessons I had to learn. Like when I first started in my first business, which was like serving offline business owners and getting clients online, was realizing that I had to offer them more value than they got in return. And I carried this over to my affiliate marketing business. I carried this over to my product creation business. I carried this over to my coaching consulting business. And a lot of people just have the wrong attitude about life. Like everything they're doing, they're trying to extract from the world instead of giving back, right? And entrepreneurship is about solving a problem. It's about adding value to somebody's life that they value more than their money they're trading for it. Entrepreneurs understand this. Employees do not. And a lot of times when an employee tries to become a business owner, they just think about what can I get? What can I get? How much money can I make? And this is why they never really make very much money. So when I first started, say, example, into serving clients, right? I actually did the work for free for 2 to 3 clients, got them results. And then from there, then I started leveraging that. Then I started using those testimonials to get more clients. I first, how can I help you? And then from there, I was able to get what I wanted, right? Same thing when I wanted to get into product creation and I didn't really have a name. I went out to somebody that I bought a product from in the past. I already learned how to do something. And I said, hey, look, I'll do all the work. I'll create the product. I have the team because I was in the Philippines at that time. I'll develop the software. I'll literally do 100% of the work. All I need you to do is basically help me sell this thing because I don't know how to sell worth of shit. And they're like, really? You're going to do all the work? Yes, I'm in. And so at the end of the day, because I held my hand out and said, what can I do for you? Not how can you help me? That person that was already a 7-figure earner was willing to help me because of the fact that it was easy money. So you got to start thinking when you go into business, how can I help the people? How can I help the market I'm trying to serve? Not how can that market give me money? And when you go into everything with what's in it for me, nobody likes a me person. Nobody likes, like, think about everybody has a friend that's always talking about themselves. The friend only cares about themselves. The friend never cares about you. They never care what you're doing in your life. They never care about if you're going to reach your goals. And you're just like, man, I like this person, but damn, all they do is care about themselves. It's the same thing in business. Your customers, your audience, your niche market, whatever you go into, they will be able to sniff you out if all you care about is yourself. If you're leading with an open hand to how can I help you, they will see that, and that will make you 10 times more money. So one of the things I'm always teaching is to give value first, sell second. Because when you do this, you're going to make 10 times more money than when you're trying to sell. Nobody likes somebody that's always trying to sell to them. All right, so tip number 9 is budget and invest your money. So if you're with me all the way to this point, this is probably one of the most important tips that you're going to learn as an entrepreneur. And when you go full time, it's absolutely going to be crucial to the life of your business, the longevity. So one of the things that I see a lot of people doing is once they make a little bit of money, they start going and buying, Mercedes or a Lambo or a Ferrari. They go buy this massive new home. They're traveling the world. I want you to understand, $1 million isn't shit. Like, look, I'm not trying to basically knock down your dreams, but the world is getting more expensive. Things cost a lot more money. If you ever have a family in the future, that's going to cost money. If you have one now, you already know. Bills, they add up, especially if you're somebody younger than me. Like, I'm 31 right now. If you're like in 18, 19, 20, you're going to see once you start making a lot of money, at the end of the day, it can go very, very quick. My life is awesome. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I can pretty much do whatever I want. I can travel around the world when I want to. I go back and forth between the Philippines and America. And at the end of the day, I could drive whatever I want, but I choose not to because of the fact that I want to save my money to invest in other businesses. You want to use your money to make you more money. So don't go blow your wad the moment you make all this money. Wait till you have filthy amounts of cash in the bank, then go buy your toys, because you want to make sure you prepare for a rainy day. One of the things I see a lot of people make the mistake of doing is they think that their success is just going to be that way forever, right? They never prepare for a rainy day. So when things go to hell, they have all these cars and these houses and all these bills adding up that they're paying monthly payments on, and they can't afford them. So that's the first part of investing your money, right? Now, the second thing is don't try to do everything for free. Stop spending all your time on forums and blogs and reading everybody's social media posts if you do that stuff, because this stuff is not going to make you money. Like, yes, you can find tons of free stuff on the internet, but go and invest in a course that will fast track your success. Find somebody who has a course or has done what you want to do or has helped people to get the results you want to do, and pay them to get that information so that way you can go out there and start applying faster than trying to piece everything for free on the internet. Secondly, invest in a mentor. Find somebody you can get one-to-one coaching with, or you can get in a group coaching program, or you can go to a live event. Invest in books. These are the things that are going to speed up your process. I see so many people trying to do everything for free, and this is a major trap. When you're trying to do things for free, I want you to use logic. If you want to do everything for free, how do you expect to ever make money? Who's going to pay you? So you want to think about what you're doing. If you want to scale up quick, invest in mentorship, invest in courses, and get the answers instead of trying to piece it together for free from people that don't know what the hell they're doing. At the end of the day, if you want to make a lot of money, you got to be willing to invest in your education. Don't do everything for free. Finally, invest in employees. This is absolutely crucial, right? I have several different businesses, and I'm able to run those because I don't do all the work. Like, now I'm at the point where I'm taking my money and I'm investing it into employees and help so I can grow multiple businesses instead of just sitting around and collecting money and saying, oh yeah, I got all this money in the bank account. At the end of the day, your time is 10 times more valuable than money. You can always get more money, but you can't get more time, right? You're getting older every single day, every single minute, every single year. And so what you want to do is you want to take that cash that you didn't spend on all the cars and the houses and the trips we talked about earlier, right? And you want to invest that cash into employees to help you buy back your time. For me, a lot of the things I like to spend time doing is thinking about how can I grow? What's the next business I want to create? What's the next business I want to invest into? But if I spent all that cash on toys, I wouldn't have the money and the resources in order to take my money and make my money make me more money. So that's the final thing. You want to invest your money into resources, into assets, into employees that can help you grow. When you do this, you're going to make 10 times more money over the course of the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years compared to if you took that cash and dumped it into all the things that just will give you enjoyment. In the long term, those things are going to weigh you down, and they're going to kill your resources to be able to invest in other things. When opportunities come at you, you're going to be wrapped up in cars and houses and all these different fun things that you have that you think are giving you enjoyment. And later you're going to realize, man, I wish I would have spent that money on actually buying back my time, because it's going to give you way more enjoyment, way more money over the course of your career, and it's going to allow you to scale 10 times faster. So if you lasted this far, first off, you're a champ. I mean, I know this was a long video, but these are 9 of the tips that I honestly had to learn the hard way. It's things that I wish somebody would have told me when I first started. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Comment below if you have any questions on anything I talked about. And as always, I will see you in the next video.